Today, we face some challenges. It's been raining here off and on for a number of days. We know how fish get. Post-frontal, if you can get it on the front end of that, money. But once it starts raining and continues to rain, fish do funky things. Good news is though, I have a window. Check it out. See that? Rain right there. Rain right there. But in between, there's a couple of hours that I'm gonna go try to beat the odds. As if the rain wasn't a big enough challenge, we're heading back out to my favorite place in all the world, those three ponds, the King, Queen, and Joker, but we're fishing the Queen today, which has proven to be a fickle one. Super shallow, tons of hidden brush, lost a bunch of lures out there. I have fished that thing probably 6 different times, maybe more. Caught nothing but dinks out of there. I've thrown creature baits, spinner baits, finesse chatter baits. I've thrown Tokyo rigs. I've thrown worms. I've even thrown a wacky rig and caught nothing out of that thing but teeny tiny little dinks. So any notion that me heading out to these ponds is a guaranteed thing, let that be dispelled. Private property, yes. Certainly not stocked and certainly not a guarantee. So post-frontal fishing, a queen that has not been good to me thus far, and yet there's more. We are going to make and fish a bait today that's way outside my comfort zone. Which is why we got out the camp stove and the camp pot, have it going here at a gentle rolling boil, because we are going to use that today to actually make our baits. Now you all know I'm a jig guy. Love soft plastics, love jigs, love it all. I am not a hard bait guy. I just don't have the confidence with them. I've not fished them as often as maybe some of you have. Love a crankbait, love jerkbait, but it's not to say that I don't want to. And I saw something on Barlow's that piqued my curiosity. I've got some 4-inch minnows, 1/3 ounce jerk baits. These are floaters, which is gonna be important in the Queen, as I mentioned. Very shallow, brush on the bottom, easy to get stuck. So I need a floater and a jerk bait, really small lip. It's not gonna dive very deep. So this seemed perfect for me. All right, pretty standard fare jerk bait. We are not airbrushing these guys today. Nope, what I saw on Barlow's piqued my interest is jig skins. You ever heard of these? I have 2. I've got one in perch and I've got one in threadfin shad. It's essentially an opening, right? It's like a tube kind of deal. Shrink wrap. So cut it to size, slide that lure inside of there, poke your hole, blah, blah, blah. We're gonna do that in a second. And then put it in the gently boiling, rolling water, and it sucks in to the bait, and you've got a bait that looks like whatever it is on your jig skin or your pro skin. So these long ones are the jig skins, these shorter ones are the pro skins, and from looking at the website, the primary difference, not only just in size, but is in variety. So it seemed to me, for you guys that are closer to saltwater, these jig skins I think were made primarily for that, because most of the patterns, they're all printed with realistic patterns on it. Most of those are, I think, saltwater type fish. This was a perch. It was the only one that looked more my kind of water, fresh water. If you're in salt and this is of any interest, go definitely check out jig skins. The pro skins, shorter, but these were all the freshwater fish. There was even a crawdad. I went with a threadfin shad, kind of an overall minnow type profile, and I knew which ones to buy because you can buy varying lengths of it. You always want to make sure that you get one at least as long or longer than you need, because then you trim it down. When I was looking for the right hard bait to use, I noticed that Barlow's, how awesome are they, put the what jig skin size works best with what lure down below. So when I found this one, It was the right profile, it was the right depth, it was a floater. I scrolled down, lo and behold, this size jig skin, and this size pro skin and this size jig skin were recommended. We'll talk about clear coating at the end. Sometimes you need it, sometimes you don't. So stay tuned for that. For now, let's get these things cut down to size. I'll show you the process. I have not done this yet. We are doing it together for the very first time, so hopefully it works out. Before we get rolling, here's a look at those plastic blanks. STK 101163 if you like this look and want to do it yourself. Of course, with all of this stuff, it'll be down in the description with direct links to everything, so you guys can try this out yourself if you dig it. Let's start with the perch. You can see as it comes around the bait, you've got perch on one side, perch on the other. The belly is realistic as well. I watched a couple of videos on this, and basically what you do, you just kind of put the lure on there where you think you want it. Obviously this is longer than what we need, so we're going to be trimming it off. I'm not as concerned about getting the eyes on this. We're going to put eyes on it ourselves. I do like this tail though, so I think I'm going to move it back to about there. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So I'm going to take a Sharpie and I want to go on the inside like there, and it looks like it's, well, no, I don't want to cover up this guy, so we're actually going to go all the way back to here. So you see my mark right there, kind of underneath the eye, and then right below that little line right there in the bait. So let's trim that off. Alright, per the video, the next step is to actually open it up and fold it in half right on the belly, like that, because we need a spot for the hook hanger to come through, hook eye. And we need another spot. We'll put a dot right there. And they recommend a hole punch, and we're going to punch through but only do a half circle. So like, see that? Like a half circle. So that's what we've got. Now slide that bait in, have it pop out right there. That looks good, that looks good. Grab some hemostats and pinch it right there. So now we have our fully prepared perch bait ready to dip. Got our hot water gently rolling inside. I think it was like 2-3 seconds at the most. So let's dip it. Whoa. Dude, wow. Check that out. Man, that is cool as crap. Wow. Man, that worked perfectly. Check that out. Alright, let's see here. This one I think is going to be a lot closer to the actual size that we need. But I am still going to trim off both ends. So that looks pretty good to me. Let's trim it right underneath of the lip. And we'll pull it back just a little bit to make sure. Get some of that thicker, meatier part of the tail. By the way, before I cut this, look at the detail. Look at how good that looks. Man, there's the underside. So cool. And easy, guys. This is simple. Get the old marky mark here. Half punch. And now let's slide her in. Grab it with the old hemostat action. These curved ones, I didn't purposefully pick these, but they kind of work out because I can put that curved end right up against it and it holds it in place as opposed to having it way down here and then maybe poking through. So go figure. We have our first casualty, but I think I know why. See how it didn't shrink there? It definitely didn't shrink there. I had taken the top off of this thing and my gentle rolling boil turned into a heavy simmer. So that's on me. I'm gonna get this guy cranked back up to get a boil going, and we'll try that again. Look at that, 1000% difference. Even when it went in to the water, it was like, I mean, instantly, while the other ones kind of slowly did their thing. So if you get some of these and want to try it yourself, make sure that your water is nice and hot. Should be a rolling, gentle boil. Daggone, that looks, you know how I love naturals, right? That is fantastic. We have got 4 made in the span of, I don't know, for me, maybe 15 minutes or so, not counting my screw up with the cold water. But the only thing left to do now is put some eyes on. So this blank calls for tiny eyes, 1/8 of an inch, also available at Barlow's. I like red, so that's what I bought. To put these eyes on, I actually use UV resin. Bought these little squirt bottles out off of Amazon. I put some UV resin in there so I can be real precise with it. UV flashlight, again, off of Amazon, and then a pair of tweezers. Looks kind of freaky, but I always put my eyes on my left hand. That does 2 things. Makes it easy to get to them, but it also removes just a little bit of that stickiness from the back and makes it a lot easier to pop them off with my tweezers. Offset tweezers for the win on this, by the way. Makes it a lot easier to pop them off with the tweezer and then put them where I want them to go. Little difficult doing this with a camera in my face, but we will squeeze some UV resin in the eye hole. Grab said red eye off of my hand and drop it in there. I like to use a little wooden dowel or wooden rod to kind of move it around. That gets that UV resin onto the eye as well. Kind of covers it up, you know. And then we'll just whack it with the light. Out of the way. UV tank. But also my little mini rotisserie. So I have that guy. That's the big rotisserie for when I'm doing wood baits or something a little bit more complex, or when I'm using 2-part epoxy and I want to turn it all night, right? I use True Coat and it takes a good 12 hours to cure. When I'm doing UV, I like this setup. Little mini deal, I can stow it away, and portable UV tank. I know, don't be jealous. Reflective stuff on the inside, 4 UV lights, 2 more over here. Duct tape for the win. Classy. We are also going to need our UV glasses. So that's where we are so far. You can see here the eye is much larger. I must have misread the website. I don't know, but there's no way that I saw 1/8. I don't know. I bought 1/8 because I thought I saw 1/8, but this is 2 sizes bigger, 3/16, which is I think 5 millimeter, close enough. But those fit just right, so that's what I used for all of them. So let's talk clear coat for a second, because this is unique stuff. They recommend, if you're using blanks like I am that have not been sealed before, that you go ahead and seal it afterwards with some sort of epoxy, be it UV resin like where you're going to be using, or 2-part epoxy or whatever. The other awesome thing about these jig skins and pro skins, you can actually put them on old lures that have been roughed up or seen their better day, and you want to keep using them. They don't have holes, they still function properly, they just need a makeover, a little pick-me-up, you know? Well, this stuff shines in that way. You can put these jig skins, pro skins right on an old lure, and you don't even have to clear coat it afterwards. It's good to go because the clear coat from the first time has sealed it all up. We obviously are using blanks, so that means we've got to cure it up, but that also affords us the opportunity to add a little sparkle, a little flake, if you will. So I'm thinking, we need tiny stuff. Do we go with like a red? I always liked red, and that would certainly work on the perch pattern, but not, I mean, yeah, it would work on this guy too, on our threadfin shad. Gold? Let's do that. Let's do gold. I've got some Hobby Lobby extra fine gold. I think that will work with that pattern for sure. And a little gold shimmy shimmy ha 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 on the shad. Can't go wrong. I've got the Chinese stuff, that hard UV resin other guys use, and I haven't used that yet. I haven't tried it yet. I had some of this extra left over. This is what I have been using, Total Boat UV Cure. So that's what we're going to use today. By the way, for those that may be curious why I used UV for the eyes instead of glue, it's because it gives me time to move the eye around without getting it all nastied up. I can reposition it, do whatever I need to get it just right, which is really convenient when you have a directional eye and you want to make sure that it's right. Sometimes it's kind of hard, especially with the little ones. It's kind of hard to see what direction that pupil is going. So using UV instead of super glue gives me a lot of freedom to move it around and get it just right. Simple boar's hair, I think that's what this is. Got it off of Amazon. Boar's hair brush. I tend to have a little bit better luck with these than the chip brushes that seem to, I don't know, flake off a lot. And we've got pre-made to go on our rotisserie. These guys go into, you'll see in a minute, it goes into the rotisserie. We hold the bait on that end. We're using a rotisserie today because I want to be able to give the clear coat time to evenly spread around and look as good as possible before hitting it in the UV tank and solidifying it. Makes for a convenient way to hold it too. And we'll go ahead and start applying the good stuff. Like that. Click it on and let her spin. Made this thing with a like a $7 motor from Amazon. Pretty simple. Some scrap wood. Got this round piece at Hobby Lobby for like $4. Pretty sweet. So that guy's going to turn. I'm going to rinse and repeat on everything else. I will let it kind of move around, turn, get as smooth as possible, and then plop it over into this guy here. Flip on the lights. It's all right here, right there. Flip that on and boom, UV tank is activated. And there they are, all four clear coated up, baking away, hardening. I wish that the lights were a little bit closer. You can see how far away they are. May look for a thinner tote in the future or redo this some other way, but it works for me because it stows away when I don't need it. As you can see, we have arrived at the Queen, my nemesis. As I mentioned, I got a bad history with this middle pond. 6+ times fishing it, nothing but little bitty dinks. So Hopefully today is the day where we break that curse. As you can see, no bob today. So with the rain coming, last thing I wanted to do was be on the water should it start to thunder, lightning, plus just having to get him off and get him back on the truck in the middle of rain. I brought 2 rods. I've got a bait caster with the perch pattern, and I've got a spinning reel with the shad pattern, because I know some guys like to fish a jerk bait on a spinning setup. So I brought both. I also brought something that I bought from Amazon. It is a rod holder belt holster thing, so I can carry the one rod behind me. I may look like an idiot, and if I do, yeah, whatever. Feel free to roast me in the comments. Lastly, I brought a big net. Not because I think I'm gonna catch a giant, although that would be okay, but because we're gonna be staying on the edge, and there's some weeds here that don't allow me to get down close to the water to be able to get fish out. This big net we use for catfish, so it's got a nice long rod, so if you see me carrying it around, that's what the heck's going on there. Final product on the perch. Turned out pretty nice, I have to say. And I'm loving the shad. Check that guy out. Woo. Well, does it look dumb? Feels kind of dumb. And this treble hook is right behind my head. I don't know if we're gonna keep it, but we're gonna try it for a little bit. I'm testing it out because I want to take it on my next wading trip. All right, here goes the perch. I know some guys don't even fish a jerk bait unless it's winter, but I think it's a year-round bait. And today, being post/mid frontal, it may actually be just the ticket, right? If they're a little turned off and a slower action can entice a bite. Although it says it was floating, and I'm wondering it's definitely not floating. My UV resin maybe, or too heavy of a hook. These are size 4, which I believe is what it called for on the site. I don't feel or hear any water in it. Well, good to know. We're gonna have to keep it moving, otherwise we stand the risk of losing this guy. Bummer. I kind of wanted to dead stick it a bit, but we'll make do. We may actually swim it too. You can swim a jerk bait. Oh, frick. Ow, 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 ow. No love at sight 1, and all I accomplished was putting that Victory size 4 V-lock right into my finger. Not up to the barb, thank goodness. Let's move on. Oh, the queen. She is a fickle one, man. Not even a sniff. All right, one more cast with the perch, and we'll swap out for my spinning setup. Yep. All right. Time to change. So this one sinks as well. Seems to be a little slower sink. I did not bring smaller hooks either. Probably should have done that. Nope. Right there. Oh, I saw him eat it. I saw him eat it right there. Let's see if we can bring one through this little gap right here. Feels fishy, does it not? Feels like I should, ugh. I was just about ready to say, feels like I should get a bite. And I bit a tree. Couldn't see it, hidden brush. Come on out of there. Oh. Dang. playing with fire here. Oh no. I was just getting ready to say, playing with fire and I might get burned. Oh, that one's on there. I can actually see it. Come on, get off of there. Get off of there. That thing is gonna come flying back at me. Oh, dang it. 2 down. Refreshed with a water break, some new batteries for you guys, and we have arrived to the other side. Maybe this will be the ticket. Truth be told, I felt more confident over there before I got here, so. All right, as fishy as this spot looks, I can take a hint. Glad I brought this giant net. What's up, chickens? All right, we are entering the danger zone. The queen has some stuff in it that you can't see underneath, but it also has this little stretch with stuff in it that you definitely can see, but it also forks out underneath to where you can't see. I have fished it all, by the way. Thrown soft plastics into there, various kinds, buzzed the spinnerbait through there, swim jig through there. So, let's see what happens with a jerkbait. Dude, oh, come on. Oh, that one's buried. Oh, I thought I had a bite. Apparently that tree goes well beyond what I can see. Yeah, oh, we did. Holy cow, it broke loose. Boy, that's gotta have a messed up hook now. Here, you can see the other side of me. You've been on my right the entire time. I'm looking at a very dangerous place. I wanna throw it right in the middle of all that. No guts, no glory. Let's do it. Oh gosh. No guts, no glory. You guys watch Gold Rush? Jack would be proud of me. No guts, no glory. All right, we did it once. Let's do it again. Ooh, come on out of there. Something is in there. Come up and hit it. There, oh, there we got one. Oh. That's for you, Jack. No guts, no glory. Holy cow, finally. He's no monster, but I love him. I love him. Little dinker-do. Thanks for eating, big guy. Ah, yes. I was beginning to wonder if it was going to happen. I don't even care that it was a dink. It was a fish. Let's move down. See that? That's the joker. And have I got a bait planned for the joker? That one's coming soon, folks. How about this retrieve? Oh, did that work? Holy cow, that worked. Just erratic, fast-moving nonsense. And it worked. Another dinkathon. There's two, though. Are we on to something? Like fast-paced, erratic jerks, no pauses? Oh no. effort to continue on with our, oh, that looks bad. Oh, dang. And then there was one, but somewhat fitting because we have just about reached the end of the other side. With our newfound quick cadence retrieval, see if it works just as well. It does with the perch. Can't talk. Got a fish. Shocker. Dink City. Oh gosh. Oh. Hold on to him like a man, girly boy. Well, that's all she wrote. I think the queen has my number. Yeah, we caught fish. We caught fish. But more dinks. I'm looking for something of substance out of that pond. We'll take the dinks. We love the small ones. We really dig the big ones, but we don't judge. Small ones are okay too. Guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Definitely a different take. I don't really do hard baits all that often, and I've never done a blank on the channel, so hopefully you enjoyed it. Tell me in the comments if you want to see more blank stuff. I mean, I've got the airbrush, so I guess we could airbrush up some blanks if that's of interest. But otherwise, we will keep creating stuff from scratch and taking it out to fish, doing our color demos, all of that good stuff. So thanks again for coming along with me today. Hope you enjoyed it. Appreciate you watching. It means a bunch. And until the next time, I'll see you guys in the shop.